Hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me as well?
Nice, nice. Yeah, I can hear you. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you also.
Yeah. So before we start, how much time do you think you will have?
Uh, the as much time you have, that much
Oh,
time I would have.
thank you. Yeah. And okay, really, I'm really glad, we could do this. And don't have a set agenda or a set question. I just wanted to initiate a chat.
Yeah,
And so just a little bit of background. Like I've been exposed to this message, let's say for maybe 3 years. I don't remember exactly, but maybe 2 to 3 years now. That I started listening to this, and mostly I think I started with these three people. I don't know who I came across first, but Tony Parsons, Jim Newman,
yeah,
Andreas Mueller. So these three people were the first one where I started listening to. All these three have their own flavor to it, but essentially the message is same. And then I started listening to more and more people uh, as they came across on YouTube, and I figured it out. It's the same message. And before that, my experience with you can say spirituality, you can say, or maybe just getting to know more about yourself, you can say, whatever you want to say. I mean, terms don't matter. But so just a little bit more background I'll give you, that my mother follows a spiritual path.
yeah,
Okay. So from the childhood, like from very early age, I listened to that message. And so that is kind of a path. So that has a practice,
yes,
spiritual practice. So they have kind of initiation. You get initiated into that, and then whatever instructions you are given, you meditate according to that. And there are satsangs every weekend. So I used to go to those satsangs from my early childhood, right? So you can say that there was conditioning, obviously, right? So there was conditioning, and so there was a kind of an impression that that everyone has, that we are in a world, and we are in a world, and we have some karma to pay off, maybe you can say that.
yeah,
There's some karma to pay off, and then we have to work our way back to our true home. Okay, so we have
yes,
to do something to get back to our true home. So it was so at that time I could only imagine. Basically, you don't know that, because you have that sense of separation. And so the only thing is, you start believing stuff because you don't know what's
yes,
being talked about. You only start believing stuff. So those beliefs then get into your mind, get into your conditioning, and those beliefs have different effects. I mean, whatever I'm telling is generic stuff. It's not specific
yes,
to
yes.
me. It may be apparently my story, but you know that it's generic stuff.
Hmm.
So those beliefs then incorporate into your head, and they have their own effects, like some devotion, some fear, some expectation, and some self-regulation and confusion. Most of all, I would say confusion and a sense of haphazardness, because you don't see what is being talked about. You think you have to go there, and you are in midway, and
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
in between your life is going on, you know day-to-day stuff. And with that sense of self stuck in all of this, is always trying to figure out what's right, what's wrong. Is this right? Is this wrong?
Yeah.
Basically, the freedom is not there. Freedom is not there. That sense of life flowing freely is not there with that sense of self. And then, but then it just keeps going on because there is no way out. So it just kept on going, and then at some point, some maybe life circumstances happen which force you to go deeper, to find an answer, right? It just so happens that you just cannot go forward with that confusion. You just cannot.
Yes,
You
exactly.
when
Yeah.
a moment comes when you decide, no, there has to be an answer, right? And then in that moment came, and then I started searching. I said I'll not go in the my conditioning pattern. I'll start from very basic. Okay, I'll start from very basic. So whatever was told to me, or whatever I listened in those satsangs where I was going for, so I st- that was my starting point. Let me search a little bit more about this, where this goes, right? What does this mean? And let me get an independent perspective. If people outside of who go to these satsang have similar experiences, what those experiences mean, and things like that, right? Because in satsangs, what happens is you are told about some internal experiences, as if there is
Yeah.
an inside
Hmm.
and if there is an outside,
Yeah, there is
right?
separation which is
There
created.
is separation,
Yeah.
and emphasis is placed on going inside,
Yeah.
right? And the steps are laid for the inside. So first step, you will experience this. Second step is this. Third step is this. Fourth step is then. Five steps is this, and then something will happen. And then
Yeah.
something will happen. So if you don't have those 4 5 experiences, you kind of keep on imagining stuff, right? So
Yeah.
those internal experiences are not the same for everyone. So everybody is same, and
The
whatever.
the knower just tries to repeat it, that
Yeah,
experience
exactly.
which it
You
has.
know this. You just match like
Yeah.
whatever is told. Am I experiencing that? Am I not experiencing that? And if you don't experience that, then more doubts come. And then I try to look for an independent perspective. That what does this even mean? These internal experiences. What do they even mean?
Yeah.
And if they have any consistency, like if they are generic, what. And then I found a similar message what my mother used to follow, right? A similar message, but there was something different about it. It
Yeah.
was exactly the same, those 5 steps, because the person was an initiate of the same lineage to which my mother used to go, right? So that was the same tradition. Person was different, but so let's say this is the starting point of that lineage. So my mother was following someone else, and someone else coming from that same lineage was giving that message, but something was different about it. It was not hard rooted in the steps. It was giving the steps, but it was not hard rooted in the steps. And the person was more friendly. He was
Yeah, it
not
was
that.
as if a flexible means.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. It was like giving a light tone to it instead of creating fear, and instead of creating, this is the path, follow it. No, he was not like that. He was more friendly, more flexible. So, I felt kind of openness to it, and I went to him, and I went to him, and I got initiated from him. And so I wanted that sense of relief, that comes from that sense of self. And now I am saying that that sense of self, I didn't know at that time that it is the sense of self that is causing all this stuff,
Yeah.
right? So now I am saying this, but so now that after listening to this message, non-dual message, and so I now I know what he was talking about, right? Because at that time I did not know what he was talking about.
Yeah,
At that
because
time
I
I
think
only believed him.
it
I
was
only
mixed up with paths and stories
exactly,
around the
exactly.
message.
So at that time, whatever he said, there was something in me that believed in him, and that just said, let me go ahead with him. Whatever he's saying, maybe he's correct. Maybe he's correct, right? So there was an
Yeah,
internal surrender of the sense of self. And so w- what I would say is that I kind of went almost there when I was with him. But when I listened to this non-dual message, then I got it kind of, then I got what
yeah,
is being said actually. What is being said? What is causing all this trouble? And now what I would say is that so initially when I listened to this non-dual message also, there was imagination, but it was kind of, kind of getting there slowly and slowly. The sense didn't drop. The sense didn't drop initially for 2 years or so, and I didn't have any glimpse or anything, and I didn't know what was being talked about, but there was a resonance.
yeah,
And
exactly. Yeah,
and then I started having glimpses that okay, this is what is being talked about. uh, when they say oneness, what does it mean oneness? When it
yeah,
said no think, what does it mean no
yeah.
think? And
Actually,
when
I
it's
don't use the word oneness. I know thing I use, but I don't use the word oneness. I use not
hmm,
to, because oneness
not to,
implies that there is someone becoming one with something.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And then there are many words, more accurate or less accurate, but like no separation,
yeah,
simplest,
exactly.
no
Yeah,
separation, that's all.
that's the simplest one.
That's the simplest thing, no separation, there is
Yeah,
nothing separate, right? No separation. And then I started to have glimpses of no separation. So first glimpse I had was kind of scary. It had two things mixed in it, like kind of imagination, okay, maybe this is what it is, and it has kind of realness to it also. It had kind of imagination to it also. The sense of self was probably there, uh, and that was kind of, 1 second thing, like
yeah,
this is the
instantaneous.
entirety, this
Yeah,
is the entirety, and there is no one here,
yeah. And
and
actually,
there is
you
no,
would have found that there was no means effort which was making that glimpse
yeah,
to happen. It
yeah,
was just as if it happened out of nowhere.
exactly. But since I was kind of making efforts to get that experience, and the sense of self was there, it had some sort of logic applied to it, you know.
Yeah, some
Okay,
sort of
some
story
sort of
around it.
meaning applied to it, some sort of
Exactly.
meaning
Yeah.
applied. Oh, this, as if it was trying to understand the structure of reality. Oh, okay, so this is the entire universe. Here is my body. There is no one in it, and it's looking at, universe is looking at itself.
Yeah.
There is no one here, and it was trying to not ease out into it, or not. It was not natural, obviously. At that time it was more kind of an understanding of oneness or
Yes.
no separation,
It was packaged with the story or the meaning around that
story or
thing.
the meaning of it.
Yeah.
Whether I got it or not got it, that
Yeah.
kind of additional baggage to it, right? And yeah, and then a sense of self, keeps on coming back, going, you try to get it back, the experience, okay, and things like that, and then it became more consistent, more regular. I there was an attempt to make it more natural.
Yeah.
uh, so yeah, that's the backstory I wanted to give you. And so the where I am right now is, there's still a struggle. There is still a struggle going on,
Yeah.
apparent struggle, unnecessary apparent struggle still going on. And I have, I would say, for the last, I don't remember exactly, but maybe for the last 1 year or so, uh, things are like, in and out, in and out, in and
Yeah.
out, kind of
Flip flop type of thing.
flip flop. It's
Yeah.
so half a day I am i- in, half a day I'm out. It's and it's the struggle sometimes become unnecessarily intense internally,
Yeah.
and and when it's over, it seems like it cannot come back.
Exactly.
Sense of
Yeah.
separation
That's the
cannot come back. It's
that's the
not
point.
real at all. How can it come back? I mean, when the sense of separation is not there, it's just this. I mean, it's so artificial that how can it come back?
It's like
At
a
that
mirage
time,
that was never there.
it was never there, and it just cannot come back. I mean,
Yeah.
how can it come back? But then it comes back.
Yeah.
Then it comes back. That sense that, that grip in the head, as if that is the controller,
It's as if
uh,
someone is looking
as
contractedly
if
from
someone is
behind the
looking,
eyes.
as if someone is stuck
Yeah.
in this. I mean, nobody is stuck in this. I mean, obviously nobody is stuck in this, but how can it come back is beyond, beyond any kind of understanding,
Yeah.
how this happens. The only thing I keep telling myself again and again, it's just conditioning of the brain, it's just conditioning of my body, that it just keeps coming back for some reason or the other. Maybe it's just overlooking at some instant that it creeps back in, it's overlooked, and then it gains its strength back. That's the explanation that I give to myself, that at some point something happens in the head, it's
It's not
overlooked,
happening.
it's it's not happening at all,
Yeah.
but the experience is like that,
Yeah.
right? The
An
experience,
apparent experience may be happening, but it's not happening.
yes, yes. So it's just like this, that this has been going on, and nothing to be done about it, nothing can be done about it, uh, but just seems like conditioning. And I thought,
No, no, no. It's not that nothing can be done about it. There is no controller to do anything about it.
no controller, yeah. And that brings me back to something. uh, what has been my experience, or you can say a way to get back to it, is you can say it's a, okay, let me explain like this. So
Yeah, yeah,
let's say I'm stuck, right? I think that, let's say my experience is that I'm stuck, right? And when my experience is that I'm stuck, and I'm trying to find my way out, let's say,
yeah.
right? I'm stuck and I'm trying to find my way back to wholeness, let's say, back to okayness, let's say,
Back to freedom.
back to freedom.
There is only freedom. There is
There
no
is
one to
only,
get back to freedom.
but when the experience, or the contraction is like,
Yeah.
yes, you are there, and
Con-
why does
contraction
not it feel free?
contraction is the freedom arising as the contraction.
Yes, but when the contraction is there, you cannot say that, or you cannot experience that
There is no
freedom
one
is
to
arising
say.
as the contraction.
There is no one to say.
Exactly, but there is no one to say it, but then that someone that appears, that imaginary someone that appears, right?
Yeah.
The imaginary someone that appears uh, and feels like real, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the imaginary someone that appears and that imaginary someone feeling like real, when that situation is there.
But
So
why are we talking about someone who is imaginary?
but there are two things, right? Imaginary but feeling like real.
Yeah.
Imaginary but feeling like real.
Yeah. But it's just feeling like real. It's not real.
Yes, it's not real. Yeah, absolutely. And that is the whole key of getting back to freedom, I would say.
Who will get back?
Body. That is
Body.
my that is my way of putting it. Let's just say. So
Let me
what
say
I
one thing. Can
yeah
I
yeah
say?
yeah yeah.
Body is the freedom arising as the body.
Yes. That's absolutely right. But then
No,
within
it's
the
not.
body, the huh?
No, it's not right.
Sorry, I didn't get you.
It's not right.
What's not right?
That the sentence which I spoke just previously,
Uh-huh.
it's neither right nor it's wrong.
Yeah, but that's kind of, let's say, that's the natural reality.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's neither right nor wrong. Obviously, it's not in a
And at the
logical terms
same
right or
time,
wrong.
it's both right and wrong.
Both right and wrong. Yeah, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But uh, yeah, so within the natural reality, let's say, the whatever is the appearance, and within the appearance, which is kind of there and not there, right?
Yeah.
And
But
within the
but within the appearance seems as if there is something in which the appearance is happening. There is no within the appearance. There is only the appearance. There is
only the appearance,
nothing in which the appearance is happening.
correct. So
Yeah.
there is only the appearance, and the appearance is like being there and not there. It's
Yes.
not solid. It's not solid.
Yeah.
And within the not solid appearance appears something which experiences itself as solid, right? And which is kind of brings us to duality, which is
No.
the experience of duality.
No. That someone who is felt as solid is the freedom itself, because freedom is not bound to arise as only one type of appearance. Freedom can arise as bondage, as the feeling of contraction, anything. That's why it's freedom.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, but the paradox, I would say, is that only when only when that freedom is not arising as solidity, this statement can be made that freedom can arise as a contraction or freedom can arise as a solidity. Only
Yeah.
when that solidity is not there, this statement can be said. When the solidity is there, it cannot be said. Truthfully, it can be said as a concept.
Yeah.
It can be
Yeah,
said as a concept
it
that,
cannot be
freedom
means.
is arising and
Yeah.
solidity. I know that.
Yeah.
Then it would be a knowing that, I have knowledge or I have a remembrance
Yeah.
that freedom can arise as me. So I am not a problem. But that is a concept, right?
Yeah,
When you
but
are there,
knowing and understanding arises. It's
yeah,
just that the owner of knowing or understanding is illusory.
is the illusion.
Yeah.
Right, right. Knowing, a knower, you can say,
Like, for
or
example, how to operate this computer, I know as a functional way of knowing, but there is no one who is knowing as a center
exactly,
that how to
exactly.
operate the computer.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, exactly. The experience of the knower, or in a more intense way, I would say the experience of the controller.
Yeah,
The experience of the controller, when it sometimes, it feels more solid, and then I would say that it feels like more, not even a knower, it feels like controller.
exactly. Yeah, it's more of a controller in a sense. Means
Yes.
you are right
And
in that way. That it feels more like a controller than a knower. Yeah,
then a
that
knower.
I am
Yes.
making the things happen in the appearance.
Yes.
Yeah,
Knower is, from my standpoint, knower is more kind of a lighter way of,
yes, yes.
there is less solidity in that. Okay,
Yeah.
knower is fine.
But
Things are still moving
controlling
naturally.
is also a form of knowing. Means it's trying to know what
Yes.
will happen next or trying to
Yeah, and
control the next event.
trying to take the next right step, as if there is a right
Exactly.
step.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, yeah. So yeah, back to the same thing. It's a flip flop going on, and
Yeah.
there is so in the head sometimes, there is a feeling that the
Yeah.
freedom is
Some
not
type of
there.
sensation or a bit of, I think, contraction in
Contraction,
the head. Yeah.
contraction in the head, as if so there are two things: body moving freely, working freely in, in non-separation,
Yeah.
but then something trying to figure its way out
Yeah.
unnecessarily, like
Yeah.
absolutely unnecessary. uh, yeah, yeah. And I watched your videos, and they are absolutely fun to watch. And
Yeah. Thank you.
sometimes it's
Yeah.
just like, when you find yourself stuck, or so I meditate in the sense that no specific method of meditation,
Yeah.
but
It can arise.
still,
It can arise. There is nothing wrong with practice or meditation.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But meditation, I could not find any method of meditation. So the
Exactly.
only thing that apparently works is like, just keeping the body still, so that whatever is going on can go on, and things will eventually orient themselves naturally. That's all. So just keeping the body still is my main method of meditation whenever I feel very disturbed, very, stuck, and overwhelmed with thoughts. um, yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I do. And there are times when, and there is sometimes this testing kind of thing goes on,
Yeah.
whether I'm back there or not, whether I'm back there or not. And obviously I'm not back there, otherwise who would ask that question? But
No. No.
yeah.
Who will get back?
Who
To
will
where?
get back, but
To
to
where?
where
To where?
exactly? But until that happens, when there is no more
How
caring,
can you get
when,
back to already speaking, to already having a conversation, to
yes.
already looking, to already listening?
Yeah, and that is what does not, that freedom is not there. Let's just say there is no time, but let's just say the apparent time or the solidity of time keeps coming back, creeping in no time.
Yeah.
So there is no time, there is no space, within no time and no
No, no,
space.
no. There
That
is space and time, but it's apparent.
apparent,
It's
that
not
apparent,
real.
yeah, that reality keeps coming
Yeah.
back in.
Yeah.
Uh, Within the apparentness, within the real and unreal, the realness, the solidity keeps coming back in.
Yeah. Because the knower is only capable of knowing the unreal part. It cannot know the knower is only capable
Real,
of knowing the real, not
real
the
part.
unreal.
Yes. Yeah. So the knower, the controller keeps coming back.
Which, yeah, because it is only through realness that it can find what it looks for.
Yes. Yeah.
Through real space and real time, it can finally create a journey from a start and an end. It can create two positions to fulfill
Yeah.
itself. It's all about
Yeah.
positions, creating positions from here to there of what will happen next.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's it,
But even
this
the position is the unposition of what is arising as the
that's the
position.
that's the relief. That's the relief, That's the relief that that as soon as that realness dissolves, it's like back.
How will it dissolve?
How will it dissolve? I mean, the realness evaporates, you can say.
It's not happening already. How to dissolve what's not happening already?
I mean, when it appears to happen, let me just say that. When it appears to happen,
Yeah,
right? When it
it
appears
only
to happen,
appears to happen.
it only appears to happen, yes. It only appears to happen, and when that appearance dissolves, or gets back into wholeness, the contraction gets back to wholeness, or whatever, whichever way we want to say
The
that,
contraction is wholeness.
is wholeness.
How can the whole contraction get to already whole? How can the wholeness, which is the contraction, get to the wholeness?
Yeah.
The looking is already it.
Yes.
The words are already it. It's not that it is some type of an object.
Yes. 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 So what another thing I wanted to say is, when this when this appearance of solidity happens, right?
Yeah,
Then obviously mind comes into play, right?
yeah.
Because it loses,
Solidity and the mind are the same thing.
are
They
the
are
same.
not separate.
They are not separate. Mind creates solidity, and mind then basically it's the mind looking within the mind for an answer.
Yeah,
So the mind is creating that separation, and that separation is looking within the mind for an answer.
yeah.
And
As soon as the feeling of a someone means I am here arises,
yes,
then that
yes.
I am here will try to overcome the gap between itself and the objects out there in the world.
Basically, it loses its capacity to see with simply the eyes. It loses
Yeah,
capacity to see what's right in front of the body. It loses its capacity, and then it thinks.
yeah,
Unnecessarily, it thinks. There is nothing in
yeah,
thinking, it thinks.
yeah.
Yeah. And that is what apparently is the suffering.
Yeah.
That is what the suffering is.
It's
Yeah.
it creates a friction to the appearance
Yes. 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 Yes.
because the thinking is itself very fast. It's without any friction. It's only when there is a thinker who creates the friction around the thinking.
Yeah.
When there is
Yeah.
a looker who is looking, then the looking which is alive becomes
Exactly.
frictional, full of
Exactly.
frictions
Yeah.
because there is
Yeah.
a center who is looking.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's center, right? So yeah, so that's my
Center,
story for now.
knower,
And
hearer, looker, all
controller,
are the
whatever,
same. You can use any
all
word.
are the same. Any words can be used. Yeah. So from your side, like, how did you get into it, or your parent story maybe?
Actually, descriptions of the story will make you feel as if this got something through the story, that this got something through practice or meditation or something like that. That
Hmm.
so I usually refrain from telling stories,
Yeah.
especially about the path. I can tell you stories about what I had for breakfast, of where
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
am
Yeah.
going to travel, but the story related to the path creates an impression that I know something which you don't, and there is no
Oh
difference.
no, yeah, yeah,
There
yeah.
is no
Yeah,
definition.
I totally get that, that is definitely I
Yeah.
mean, I get the crux of that
The masses
thing.
doesn't come from a teacher-student relation.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Mm. There is
Uh,
nothing which I can teach you or you can learn.
yes, yes, yes,
How to
absolutely.
how to teach what's happening or how to learn what's happening. It's not possible.
Yeah, yeah. Like, what I wanted to ask is, did you have any glimpses, or you just naturally just, you know, um, it was over for you, or
Actually, I want to say that when there is an apparent falling away in the story, then
Hmm.
to refer back to the memory of what happened cannot arise because it's just it's never happened. It never happened. What happens when
So,
you go in a desert and you see a mirage in front of you, and then when you reach there, you find that there is nothing. So
yeah,
to refer back to that memory which you had when you were far back of looking at the mirage becomes
yeah,
very difficult to get hold of. So
yeah,
that's what is happening here.
yeah. So
Yeah,
the mirage feeling like water again didn't happen for you. Once the mirage was seen, it was seen.
yeah.
Okay.
And the most important part is that when the mirage is apparently seen that it
Hmm.
was never there, then it's
Yeah.
seen that it never happened. So how to refer back to something which never happened? There is no
Hmm.
reference point left to refer back to that.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah. So there is no reference point is something I definitely, that reference point is the illusory point,
Yeah,
and
that point is the
the
seeker. That
yeah,
point.
seeker. So seeker never came back after that.
But
Yeah.
yes, seeking can happen in a functional way,
Yes,
in a
in a function.
biological way. Yeah,
Absolutely, absolutely.
yeah.
Functional is
It's that
functional never
additional additional layover.
layover.
Seeking. Yeah,
Layover
yeah,
is the apparent problem. Let me
yeah.
just say that functionality
Like
has
for
never been
example,
a problem.
I have the same liking like I have.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
like I like to play. I like to run around. It's just the same.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. I mean, I know it doesn't need an answer. There
Answers
is no
can happen.
question.
Answers, questions can happen.
Yes. I mean, there is no real question. There is
Yes,
no real
exactly,
answer.
exactly. Yeah,
Uh, the reality of question appears sometimes, which is not real, but it appears as real, as if there is a real question.
in a story type of way, also, if you look at your roof, then how to pinpoint what's happening means if
Exactly.
you just sit and look at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you say it is a room, then it just swipes away everything else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, no separation is absolutely, you can't say
And
first word about
and
it.
in many of the teachings, it's as if no separation is taken as something mystical, which we need to find.
Ah,
They
yeah,
tell
yeah,
that there is some consciousness which you need to
yeah.
meditate on. There is some
Basically, you close
awareness.
your eyes and you go
Yeah,
somewhere else.
yeah,
That is no separation. That
yeah,
that that is kind of an
yeah,
imaginary point of view of
yeah,
a seeker. When there is the
yeah.
spiritual traditions and those kind of things that
It just
I
keeps
have.
on the loop going,
Yes,
apparently.
I have to find that level of consciousness, or I have to dissolve myself internally, and then I will be in some
Yeah.
state
Like you
of
mentioned, trying to get inner and trying
yes,
to avoid the outer objects,
outer.
as
Yeah,
if going inner is something special. It will
yeah,
get you to somewhere.
Yeah, basically that I would say that all inner thing is the mind. That all inner, whatever you feel as
Yeah,
inner, is the separation, is the mind. That it starts with itself, and
yeah.
then
In an apparent way, you can say,
yeah,
but in no
like
separation, there is no inner or outer.
there is no inner or outer. Yeah, and I would say there is no mind which can be discerned. That
Yeah.
okay, yeah,
Like, for example, I cannot see anyone speaking there or
yeah.
anyone who is looking from over there to here. It's just like any other object. Means
It's just like
it's just
you know,
alive.
it's just like
Objects and body have this apparent difference that the body is seemingly alive, that the
hmm.
body moves.
Body moves,
Yeah,
objects don't seem
body is somewhat
stationary, but there is
dynamic.
no real
Yeah,
but there is no real difference between a bottle and your image moving. There is no real
yeah,
difference between
yeah,
the two. The bottle is the same thing as
yeah,
a body moving. And there is no real, there is
yeah,
there is just this boundlessness, you can say, or appearing
yeah,
as the bottle, appearing
yeah.
as laptop, appear as
And what's the
yeah.
boundlessness? It's
It,
just our conversation.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Because in this, you
Whatever.
can also feel boundlessness. Like, for example, words are coming out of nowhere.
No.
Any words are happening. You are speaking something, and I am speaking something.
And
Like, this is boundlessness.
this is boundlessness, and
Yeah,
it's not more important than anything
exactly.
else.
Yeah,
It's not more important than anything
yeah.
else.
Smiling, laughing. It's not separate from life.
Yeah,
That's the beauty of the message.
that's the beauty of the
That
message. That is why,
teaching separate life from practices.
yeah, in the apparent story, you can say that this is the last message to be heard.
Exactly. Yeah, you said it
This
right.
is the last message.
Because there is
After this,
nowhere to go after this. Where you
after
will
this,
go?
yeah, or the other way to say would be there is no one left who would ask anything after this.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Because in this boundlessness, who is to ask what? Is bottle asking something? Is bottle asking something? Is mouse saying something? It's not saying anything. That
Yeah,
how am I different from this mouse that who is simply
yeah,
what it is?
yeah.
What is there?
The mouse is not asking that, what meditation can I do? What
Yeah,
practice can I
exactly.
do?
Yeah, I'm stuck
Yeah.
somewhere.
It's only with the arrival of the I am, self-consciousness,
Yeah.
that that feels as if there is something to do. In birds, in objects, in animals, there is no that position doesn't arise even. That initial knowing of I am here doesn't arise.
Uh,
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, the amazingness of this cannot be put
yeah.
into words. What are words are itself the amazingness of
It's
itself.
amazingly simple. It's
It's
amazingly
amazing.
obvious.
That is what I think myself back to, why are human bodies so complicated? Or then it's the same thing arising as complication.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
who
isn't
can
it
say
simple?
how
Isn't it simple? That words are
it's
simply coming out through the mouth, looking is simply happening, hearing is
that
happening.
is that is the apparent problem, that it's so simple, that it's immediately overlooked. It's
Yeah,
immediately overlooked.
exactly. Yeah.
The only apparent answer I would say is that human brains are not meant for simplicity.
Yeah, in the story, in the scientific way, we can
in,
say,
in the
because there are
scientific
so
way.
many functions going on, neurons,
Yeah,
neurology,
yeah,
biology. Yeah,
yeah. It's so much programmed, or conditioned to
yeah.
for complication, that it just doesn't see the simplicity
But
of,
isn't it amazing that the eyes are blinking without anyone? Hairs are growing, heart is beating, blood is pumping, and no one is making these things happen.
exactly.
Yeah.
That is the real beauty
It's
of
so complex that it's so simple. You said it right.
it's it's
Yeah.
amazing. It's amazingly simple, and it's so easily overlooked. Is the surprise? Is the surprise?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
And that's why
obviously,
the conversation is so light, because
yes,
I haven't got something some meditation to practice you or to tell you anything. That's why
yeah,
it's so amazing.
yeah, yeah,
It's so light. Anything can be said.
yeah. So what else? I mean, what else goes in your day? Like
It's
you're
just
studying?
yeah. I'm doing a masters of philosophy now.
Oh,
Yeah. So it is just my first year of
first year?
for first semester. So
Okay.
yeah, going to university happens, attending classes happens, learning
Yeah.
concepts happen. This message is not about getting rid of the concepts. Uh,
Yes.
the
Yeah.
the that same energy can be there. That same enthusiasm can be there to learn
Mm.
something in mathematics, to figure out what that one has said. But it's not coming out from a sense of a need that I will get something by learning, that I will get something by reading those stuffs.
Yeah.
The message is interpreted, mostly misinterpreted, in a way that the concepts are a problem, that you don't need to know. The message doesn't say that. The message says that the the only problem is that there is an apparent feeling of a problem.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So any changes before, after changes?
If there is a someone who's telling that there is change in the appearance before and after, then I think that there is still someone, there is still an apparent knower who is commenting on the difference. Yes, there
Yeah.
can be comment that slight bit of comments that it can come out of nowhere, but sometimes you may have said that the differences are described very often in a lengthy way. So
Mm.
that feels as if there is someone who knows that what's the
Yeah.
change.
As if there is,
Yeah. Yeah.
as if even the difference matters.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
As if there was a point who was there in the center who was looking of what
yeah.
was happening before and after. When there is no point, then there is simply no change or no difference is visible.
No different. Yeah. Absolute.
Differences can seem to arise, but it
Yeah.
doesn't make the freedom more freedom. It
Yeah.
doesn't make the freedom less freedom. It
I
doesn't
mean,
make the wholeness more whole. It doesn't make the wholeness less whole.
exactly. Exactly. It's not special at all anyway.
Yeah,
So it's more like coming back to normalcy. I would say it's more like coming back to okayness, or
yeah,
normalcy. Not
yeah,
nothing
yeah,
special at all. So when you're normal, you don't. What would you describe normalcy as? Right? It's normal.
yeah,
It's just normal.
yeah.
Uh,
And it can, the normalcy can include anything. It can include excitement. It can include anger.
yeah.
It can include the pain.
Yeah.
It can include the anxiety. It can include any happening of any sort.
Yeah.
What's arising is free to arise as anything.
Yes.
And it's
It
free to
doesn't
not
have
arise
to.
at all.
Yeah. And but it's, yeah, it's free to arise when there is, no one to whom it's arising to. Otherwise, then
Exactly.
controlling starts.
When there is a someone who knows that what's arising, then what's arising is only what's arising.
Mm.
That's why the knower tries to hold on to what's arising, because it's fearful of not what's arising. It's fearful that it will lose what's arising.
As if,
Yeah.
uh, Andreas also used that, as if, it's going to be eaten up by what's arising. It's fearful of what's arising will eat it up, and then it has to control it. Uh,
Yeah.
Otherwise, I will be eaten up. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the freshness, that the listening to it is just something rare, means something different in an apparent way. There is
Yeah.
no difference, means, but
No
there is
difference.
an apparent difference between the rest of the communications and this communication.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, as I said, this seems like the last message to be heard. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah. And all, you can't even dream of going back to the step by step procedure or something.
Yeah, it's so means
You,
it's so exhausting. What's the
but
need of any step?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
But surprisingly, when there is a knower, it's looking for steps then.
exactly.
And
Yeah,
that is what I think steps are meant for the knower. It's steps are
yeah.
meant for
It's
the
knower
knower.
for the knower to play around,
Yeah,
to play around with more knowing,
to play around is more knowing, and it
like a
feels
carom board, like a carom
yes,
board. The knower can be like the striker and rest of the other characters, and there is no goal. The four sides are means full. There is no means goal, and the striker is just striking and trying to get to the goal, but it's just striking to the rest of the sides, and it's coming back, coming back, coming back, coming back.
as if, and it all feels like if it's all real, and if there is a real goal, and if there are
Yeah,
real steps, and it just feels so real in the mind. I mean,
yeah,
it's amazing to me how much power or how much
yeah,
the realness mind has got. it's
yeah,
it's absolutely amazing
yeah,
to experience that. And when you apparently come out of it, it's just amazing that how can we watch movies but we know it's a movie.
yeah, yeah,
At that time we know it's a movie, but when you are in the mind it does not feel like unreal. It feels absolutely real.
yeah.
Absolutely real. And the surprise is that it's unreal.
No,
That's
it's neither real nor unreal. It's
neither real
neutral.
or unreal, you can say, or you can say the
It's the
reality of it
mystery. It's the mystery.
is misleading, or you can say
Yeah,
the reality of it is misleading. That at that time it appears only
yeah,
real.
yeah.
It appears only real,
It's the unspeakable mystery arising
as
as as
yeah, as
infinity,
whatever,
as
yeah,
whatever.
as whatever. Yeah.
And the words are just like poetry.
Yes.
It's just like poetry, amazing music. Yeah, it's like a poetry which just makes you get lost in it. Rest of I mean many of the communications feel as if the concepts are heavy, means whatever they
Yes.
are saying is heavy in
Heavy.
a way.
Heavy. Yes.
Here nothing is
Heavy
heavy.
because there is realness. There is not real and unrealness.
Yeah,
There is realness. That only realness part makes it heavy.
yeah,
The real and unrealness then just dissolves that
yeah,
heaviness or the
yeah,
solidity.
yeah, because it's not binary.
It's not binary.
Binary just makes it feel as if there is 2 points and it's stretching like a rubber band.
Yes, that is the contraction.
And
That is the
what
yes.
happens when we just stretch a rubber band like this for many term means for a long time? Our hand gets a little bit means
Yeah.
painful, or the rubber band just breaks out.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's
I mean,
the point of the two positions of the path. It can be taken as a rubber band. The
mm,
goal and the both the ends of the rubber band are the same. There is nothing which is special about the 2 point.
yes.
Stretch,
Yes.
stretch, stretch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Awesomely perfect. Awesomely simple. Awesomely what is. Awesomely this. Awesomely the unspeakable mystery arising as the awesome appearance.
I enjoy your talks very much, Mike. The and
Yeah.
most one thing I would share is that with other speakers as well,
Yeah.
that when they do Zoom talks, like initially when we were doing this talk, and I have a question, and let's say I have a serious question, and I'm coming from a point of seriousness, and there is an answer, apparent answer to that. But the videos where where the speaker is just like, you make your own solo videos which
Yeah,
are not question answer videos,
yeah,
and similarly Ariana makes such videos. Ariana
yeah,
Reflects,
yeah,
I don't know if
yeah,
you have seen those videos.
yeah, yeah.
And Anna also makes. Uh, so those are those are something different than Zoom meetings where there is
Yeah.
question answers, or
Yeah, it's
those
a question answer just makes it means monotonous in a way.
monotonous. And yeah, because they come from that standpoint of
But
no one needing an
this has
answer.
also got something new. Like for example, you asked question and I didn't know anything what to say,
Yeah,
and the words
yeah,
just
exactly.
came out.
Yes,
And the
yes, yes,
body also gets dynamic in a way when there is a person who is apparent person who is listening.
yes. Yeah, there are, it comes with all its package.
Flavors.
The person comes with the apparent person comes with its all its apparent effects, I would say, on the body, on the appearance, on everything. And then
The
it
appearance
might
is
appear.
so innocent. For
Yeah,
example, the hanky is so innocent. It's just lying here, not saying what to do.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
completely innocent. Even the
completely innocent.
knower or the knowing is also innocent because it's causelessly arising. There is no one making the seeking happen. There is no one making the seeker arise.
Yes, yes. That's the beauty of getting into that seriousness and coming out of that seriousness,
The
or
masses
the
takes away the seriousness. But
the message.
seriousness can still happen.
Yes,
From the
but
face, it can happen that someone is serious, but internally it's just singing the
yeah,
song.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, seriousness without someone is completely different from seriousness coming from someone.
exactly. Yeah.
Awesome.
But the funny part, there is
Uh-huh.
no someone already.
There is no someone already. Yeah. That's the
Is there a
most
someone here?
amazing. Yeah. Yeah. That that is all the that is all the miracle only a human body can do. There is nothing else which can create. I mean, we don't know obviously, but nothing else seems to create that effect of an hour.
Can I minus something?
Yeah, yeah.
Don't know minus V. Only don't know.
Sorry, sorry. Come again, please.
Don't know minus V is equal to only don't know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Only unknowing.
Only unknown. Yeah,
Only the boundless perfection arising as the nodding of the head. Yeah.
yeah. Some yeah. Great. I mean, no words, obviously. No words to say, to expect, to even describe. It's just undescribable. And there is sometimes a great feeling of gratitude that arises for all the speakers.
Yeah.
And it's somehow it's somehow seen as wholeness calling back to itself, that
Yeah.
yeah, there is nothing going on. There is nothing going on, there is nothing going on. uh, um, yeah, yeah, I mean, it just seems miraculous. It's not miraculous, it's absolutely natural, but it
That's
seems
why it's
miraculous.
miraculous.
But it seems miraculous that when wholeness gets lost as someone, then there is wholeness calling back to itself.
Yeah,
uh, yeah, it seems so amazing.
yeah.
Seems so amazing.
So amazing, so simple. So what is
So
this?
so
So
simple.
so 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 so
So
so
so
so
so itself. So itself.
so itself. Oh my God, a new music is coming out. So itself. So what is so this? So what's appearing to happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Have you started doing Zoom meetings?
No, not as of now. Till now, the camera has been acting like a second man for me. Yeah, yeah, it's fine.
But they
I'm
are,
thinking of
as I
doing
said,
thinking
they
of
are
doing
very,
Zoom,
yeah.
but I think the message is delivered through
The
the
message.
camera also. But and I have just said that whoever wants to talk, they can talk.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. And
because
as I
in
said,
that you
those.
said that there is constant question and there is constant answer. So you have described the experience that there is
Yes,
somewhat a monotonous created.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, even the answers apparently are affected by the question, I would say, in a way,
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
because y- you listen to the question and then somehow that a context is created in which you have to answer, because
Exactly. Yeah.
context is of the question, but there is no question and there is no context. Then trying to answer to a question, it gets affected, somehow.
The speaker
That
just
that
tries
monotony
to
comes.
matches the context, and from that level
Yeah,
he tries to give the answer, and the
exactly.
message just gets hidden in the context.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unnecessarily hidden, or the
Yeah.
communicator cannot again and again say that there is no question, there is no answer, there is
Yeah.
no question, there is no answer.
Yeah.
That cannot be repeated for every question.
No question can arise as the sense of a question. No answer can arise as the sense of answer.
Yeah, yeah,
It's all inclusive. That's why it's so
so
amazing.
it's amazing. Yeah. So when the most simple and illuminating experience, I would say, was when these people, when these apparent communicators saying that there is no Zoom meeting going on, there is
Yeah.
no Zoom meeting going on.
There is no. There is
This
no.
is
We are
not a
talking.
meeting.
We are
Yeah.
talking. There is a Zoom meeting.
There is no one here, there is no one here, there is no
No,
meeting.
there is
I
an
mean,
apparent
apparently, yeah,
body.
apparently there is,
Yeah.
but to get to the point, it's a
Yeah.
yeah,
And the most beautiful thing about this is that it's just contradicting itself. Means there is
yes,
no one includes. There is someone.
yes,
One moment, someone, no one, no one. That's the unfixedness of this message. Nothing is fixed. For the knower, this pen should only be here. It cannot be here. It cannot be here. It cannot be here. When there is no one, then this pen is just anywhere and nowhere at the same time. And the appearance is also anywhere and nowhere at the same time. For the knower, the appearance is only here. For no one, the appearance is anywhere and nowhere.
anywhere and nowhere.
Yeah.
There is no point.
Like for example, can you see any point, any looker which is looking from behind the eyes, any hearer
Yeah,
which is hearing,
yeah.
anyone who is making the blink, anyone who is breathing, anyone who is making the blood flow,
Mhm.
anyone who is digesting. the food.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And at the same time, there is no someone sitting over the top of the clouds making anything happen.
Yeah, yeah.
That would also mean that there is some big self or a small self. That is
Hmm.
just separation of small and big self.
Yeah, and the amazing thing is that when there is an experience of a knower, these things can only be understood. They cannot be seen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The I am cannot be unthought because the I am is an experience. It's not a thought.
is an experience. It's not
Yeah.
a thought. That is the most, you know, that is the solidity, you can say, of the I am, that
Yeah.
it's not a thought. Many people say, I don't know, the experience might be different or whatever, but they say that I is just a thought.
Yeah. You can stop thinking it.
That's
Yeah.
not the experience here, at least. I
Yeah.
is not a thought.
Yeah.
Is something else.
Yeah. It's just which is felt in the body level, and the appearance is also felt as if there is something which is means solid, and there is something which is just like this in the appearance,
Yes.
constantly holding hands like this.
Yeah. And I am is in the appearance. It's not
Yeah.
the appearance itself. It's in the
Yeah.
appearance, and the appearance is separate, and it's surrounded by
Yeah.
the appearance, and it
Yeah.
I is within the appearance. Yeah.
The I am is the experience of the appearance being separate,
Appearance being separate. Yeah. Yeah.
of the appearance needing something to happen, of the appearance needing something to get in the future.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And all those needs seem to be real, you know.
Yeah.
I have to do something.
It's thinking that only one knowing, only one position. If I get, then finally I will able to just dance around.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
That
Finally,
moment never comes.
yeah, that moment cannot come for the eye. That moment cannot come for the eye. Yeah. Yeah. So funny and so serious and funny at the same time. And
How can a mirage fulfill the thirst of a shadow? The I am is the sad shadow, and the real part of the appearance is the mirage.
yes, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, there is no basically shadow to need something, and there is nothing that is needed. I mean,
But one more point, that a pointless point, that the need can include the appearance of a needing is so needlessness is so needless that it can include the
yeah,
experience of need.
yeah. It can dream the most horrendous dreams. I mean, the fun it is having is it's scaring itself and then laughing at itself. You
Yeah,
know, yeah, it's scaring itself and then it's making,
these are the two cameras talking.
yeah.
The cameras which are moving.
Which think that they are more than a camera. You know,
This is the message.
yeah. That is what is looked for, or death. It doesn't know that it's looking for its death.
It's looking for the end of itself.
Looking for.
It's not there. Where it is? Where it is?
It seems like, this
Yeah,
this
there
this
can be
nothing
an
is,
appearance that it is here or it is here.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing, and immediately, like, okay, where am I? Okay, I'm here.
I am there. I
And
am
then
here.
And then, shh. Okay. There's nothing.
Yeah.
Is there? So, are you listening to other speakers these days, or
Yes. Yes, it's very fun to listen about it and to talk about it.
whom do you resonate with most?
Yeah, all the speakers, those who talk about it,
Mm.
those you mentioned, all of them I am listening to from the
Mm.
last, I think, 1 year or 2 years. Yeah,
I haven't seen any Tony's video recently.
yeah, you can watch them. But the first one was, I think, Jim Newman, the first one of which I watched the videos.
Jim, okay. Yeah. Jim has a very, same message, so many different styles, so many
Yeah,
different flavors.
yeah.
Jim has absolutely different flavor than Andreas,
Yes,
and
Jim has a somewhat very different flavor.
very different flavor. Yeah.
But it's all just poetry.
Yeah, yeah,
And
same.
the most common thing you would hear is that they say that it's not my message. Means
Yeah,
it doesn't belong to an entity. Yeah. Jim says that the message is not mine. The message is just,
no,
it's everywhere.
same. The message is itself, you could say.
The words just come out. The words, uh, yeah, the words are similar because the message is somewhat similar with
Yeah, because
regard
the
to the
language
message.
is
Yeah,
kind of,
yeah,
limited, or human
yeah,
thinking, you can say, is
yeah,
kind of takes us into same direction or
yeah.
same words.
Yeah. Like for
Uh,
example, you would have said that some musicians, they follow a brand of music and they
yeah.
just try to make that music with different flavors. They just tone around that flavor and they keep to that music. And art also, like for example, abstract art. Abstract art is a different category in which the painters just make with different flavors.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even literature is the message. All the words, everything is the message. Literature, mathematics, science. It's just a message in a hidden form, in an apparent hidden form. It's also the message. It's also wholeness. Means in most of the subjects, you would have find that the author is trying to describe wholeness. Means any work of literature or art. It's just means that they give a certain direction or a path. A path is added to wholeness. And
Hmm.
that's what the difference is between the
Hmm.
message and the rest of
Hmm.
the other communication.
All right.
That it's not loaded with additional concepts or practices or beliefs. There is no separation. That's it. Uh, there is no method to reach to it.
Yeah. Yeah, because the starting point of the message, that you listen to is just it hits you or it resonates. This is it. It's over. And that is where I think most resonance comes from. That
Yeah. It's as if the entire
first,
seeking energy just gets relaxed.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. The first relief for a seeker comes from the fact that I don't have, whether the seeker is there, but at least he's relieved. I don't have to do anything. That's the first relief until the seeker goes away. But
Yeah.
at least the first relief the seeker gets is, okay, I don't have
Yeah.
to do anything.
A lot of sense of the knower is dependent on the doer. Means
Hmm.
controller. Controller is a big part of the knower, like you mentioned, that
Yeah,
it
yeah,
feels more of a controller.
yes,
Yeah. It's trying to make the words happen. It's trying to means figure out the appearance. Figuring out is anything which is a form of knowing.
yes.
It's trying to understand the appearance through any form of a concept. Even the I am is knowing. That itself is knowing.
Yeah. And functioning itself is the knowing without a knower, or or the functioning without someone is
Yeah, yeah,
so much different than, someone functioning, knower knowing
yeah.
something. It's there is a, I mean, there are two different realities, I would say, as Tony says, or
Yes,
I,
yes,
I have
yes,
heard this, that
yes.
what these are two different realities.
Yeah,
These are two different worlds, you can say, in
yeah,
which there is no world and no one living in the world, and there is, if there is someone
yeah,
living in the world, these are two different
yeah.
realities.
In the boundless, the one reality is somewhat boundless energy, and in within that reality, the sense of a
Real
boundedness,
reality, or yeah,
boundedness of I am arises.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Within the real and unreal, the real
yeah,
comes in. The only real comes in.
yeah,
Within the real and unreal, only real
yeah,
comes in.
yeah. But that is also compromising in a way, because there is separation between both the realities. There is a
Yes.
boundless energy and there is an I. But the more uncompromising way of saying would be that the I am is also the boundless energy.
Boundlessness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
is also
Yeah.
boundlessness.
Yeah.
That way it's just non-dual. It's not two.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as I said, I
That,
have to say,
that's why I refrain from speaking in that manner. That there are two realities and one is
uh,
boundless and one is I am.
yeah, 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 yeah. But yeah, I mean, as I said, the that can be said only from boundlessness. That boundary is boundlessness arising as boundary, but that
Yeah,
can be said only from boundlessness. The boundedness
but
cannot say that.
who will be there to speak
There
from
will be no one.
boundlessness?
There will be no one. Only boundlessness can say that. Uh, Only
But what is the
boundlessness.
boundlessness saying? Is it even saying that it is boundless?
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely. As Jim says, it's just a response to boundary.
Yeah,
Let's just say it's just a
yeah.
response. It's not saying anything.
Because
But
you would have seen that the message just goes around in concept. Goes around means it just speaks the same words.
it's,
It's just a response. You said it correctly. It's just a response to that I am, which
yeah,
is looking for something to
yeah,
happen.
yeah.
And the response is that there is nothing which needs to
Nothing
happen.
to happen. Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing needs to
And that includes the experience that something needs to happen.
happen.
Nothing is missing includes the experience that something is missing.
Something is missing.
This is whole includes the experience that this is not whole. This is freedom includes the experience that this is bondage.
This is bondage.
This is inclusion includes the experience of exclusion.
Yeah, it has been great fun. I mean, there,
Yeah,
the most amazing
it's
part is
something good. It's something
the
which is
most,
alive.
yeah, there is nothing to talk about, but you can talk about it for,
Yeah, yeah.
hours and hours.
Just like poetry.
Yeah.
We have been singing this poetry for the last couple of hours. We have been
Yeah.
singing this music of what isness and enjoying the lyrics of the music. The appearance is singing the music of this is it. And the song of this is it includes the song of this is not it. Hmm.
Amazing.
Amazing. Wonderful. Mhm.
How is your do you follow a routine, or like it's more flexible? And
It's flexible, like you asked that when did you sleep? So I
yeah,
said it's not fixed.
yeah. I mean, you have to go to college, or
No, uh, right now it's online. I don't need to attend physical classes. So right now
okay.
I just sit at home and attend.
Yeah, but yeah, to attend the classes, then you have to get back to, you know, timing and
Yeah, but it's post graduation, so it's a lot more freer. Means the teachers
okay.
also give freedom. Means we
Hmm.
can join 5 to 10 minutes late. The teacher doesn't say much. And at the same time, it's a philosophy class, so philosophers have got slightly philosophy teachers and professors have got slightly different way of seeing. It's not saying that they have some special way of saying, but in a relative sense, they are somewhat means liberal.
Liberal.
Yeah, means they give freedom.
Ah,
Yeah.
ah. And does this have only philosophy and philosophy as its subject, or as a variety they include some other courses also?
Actually, actually, it's as if I am reading all subjects in philosophy.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, means
Okay.
means yeah, it's not like that. Sciences and mathematics are mainstream in that, but it's like you can get to know a lot of varieties of Eastern thoughts, Western thoughts. But after coming across the message, it might be uh, means there is fun in learning.
Hmm.
Means there is much more fun in learning, but there
Yes,
is
yes,
no seeking way of learning. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
that
And
is what has gone. Yeah.
some of the parts you might consider as really ridiculous, maybe,
Yeah,
or
ridiculous. Exactly. That is what I wanted to say,
and
which I have.
some other person who is coming from a certain background, or not
Yeah,
from this point of
yeah,
view, no, which is not a point of view, but
yeah,
may consider those parts very serious, and you might be considering them as ridiculous, or not important at all.
yeah. Like for example, this message is somewhat compared to Nagarjuna philosophy.
I
Nagarjuna
don't
was
know
a philosopher
that
of
is.
Buddhism. So he
Okay.
also spoke somewhat in a way this message is presented,
Acha, okay,
but he
I didn't know.
gave some paths. That's why some people also say that this is like Buddhism, the message,
Okay.
because the Nagarjuna also said no this, no this, no this, but he was negating everything as a way, and
Mm,
this
mm,
message doesn't negate anything.
mm,
It
mm.
doesn't say that there is no world. It says that there is a world and there is no world at the same time.
There is no. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So some philosophy gives us a feeling that yeah, they are saying something special, but it's all just words. Yeah. It's just the character needs to do something. So the character is pursuing a master's in philosophy
Yes, yes,
right now.
yes. Yeah, yeah,
It's not about there is nothing to do and you just say there is no one to do or not to do. Doing just
yeah,
happens.
yeah, yeah. And it happens freely. I mean, e- the bounded perspective, or the story perspective, is that I have to do this learning for something,
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
this is a step towards something. uh, but otherwise it can be just be what it is learning, so it is just learning, that's all. And yeah, there is nothing to come out of it, or There is no second step to it.
And what about you? What is means right now? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing a software job,
Oh,
as many other people in many other individuals.
software engineer.
Software engineer. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
you might be
It's
typing all day on your.
typing. No, 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 no. My work these days is very light. Very, very less work I have,
Yeah,
and yeah, and but the difference is, as I said, I'm a software engineer, so my brain is always working everything from a that how does it work kind of thing.
yeah. That's good. No, that's good in a
Yeah.
way. In a way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
even this message or whatever, like it's like a poet would have poetic approach to it, or if a mathematician came across this message, he might have a
yeah,
different.
yeah,
So as a software engineer, my brain towards this message is might have a different flavor, or uh, yeah, different appearance of,
yeah.
yeah, same thing.
Like for example, in the world, you would have also seen that the most of the people thoughts are affected by the discipline from which they are. Means
Yes.
if you just start speaking with any person, then you would see that how his way of speaking is related to his discipline.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
but
Yeah.
that's what the beauty of life as it is. Means you need to see a lot of varieties. You need to see a lot of different perspectives. And when there is no one with an additional story to it, then it just becomes awesome, beautiful
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
play around.
Yeah. Somehow, there is a feeling that after coming across this message, that I should go through my college now. When I
Yeah, yeah.
went through my
There may be a
college,
lot of excitement which may be happening.
yeah,
Means,
like when I went through the college, that I didn't do it as it was supposed to be done. I should do it now.
yeah, exactly. You might be thinking that when I was in college, then I might be doing a sum and I might be lost somewhere else. Now
Yeah.
you might be thinking that when I will do the sum, then only the sum will happen. Only the
Only
doing the
that
sum.
that thing will happen. So there is
Uh,
a lot more enthusiasm or energy that okay, if studying is to be done, it should be done now. When I
yeah,
did that, I didn't do it the right way.
yeah. You can go now also. No, I think here in India they have ignoos where we can apply
Yeah.
and do masters or
Yeah.
bachelors.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
you are
Or
originally from India, no?
yes,
India.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. 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 I went to Jaipur for my college.
yeah.
Yeah. Where are you? Which city are you?
Oh, Varanasi.
Varanasi. Okay. Okay. Nice. Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah. Instead of going to college, I mean, because then you will have to
yeah,
follow
yeah.
curriculum, so
But
you can
in
pick up a
IGNOU,
book.
you might be knowing that we don't need to do anything. We just need to study and go to give exams here in
Hmm.
India. Yeah,
Hmm.
you don't need to go to the college. I think most of the colleges are operating like this only
Yeah, yeah.
after the whole
After
situation happened.
COVID. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Or
this message wouldn't have happened apparently. I
sorry.
wouldn't have come across the speakers. It's
It,
during the lockdown that I came across the speakers.
oh, is it?
Yeah,
Okay. 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 Yeah, I heard in some video that you were saying that you were looking for something in philosophy and you came across this.
yeah. Means from the start only I was not interested in the most of the other disciplines.
Hmm.
I said that why 2 plus 2 is equal to 4 only. Why if this why only this should be the cause of this? Means I had a skeptical mind as of so so from then on I went to means it's destiny, you can say, that the character has got philosophy as a
Hmm.
subject. because I didn't know anything about it till class 12. Because in till class 12 we don't have philosophy.
Hmm.
It's only in graduation that we come across the subject.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome, awesome, awesome.
It hasn't got a trade perspective in a way, but it's funny to just explore the different thinkers,
Different words, sorry?
different thinkers
Hmm.
from a
Yeah.
way
Yeah.
of just childlike exploration.
Yeah. Yeah. But do you feel like forced when you have to do something that you don't find interesting, or some subjects I just have to get passing marks somehow?
So
You know.
actually, the entire philosophy means
Mm.
just interests. So
Oh.
even the ones which are not interesting, they also are read,
Hmm.
are finished some way.
Yeah. They're not that
Yeah,
disinteresting. You mean
yeah.
they at
But
least
to
some
read
level
a
of interest is
different
there.
subject would be impossible now,
Oh. Okay. Okay. Hmm.
because philosophy you would see that somewhat it is related to these type of things. Means I always wanted that academics and my doing this should be
Hmm.
related in a way,
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
I would come
Okay.
across some subject which would have some words which would
Hmm.
be open, which would express freedom in a way.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So in philosophy, are there any thinkers that you resonate with more, or are there any philosophers who are close to this?
Actually, I think that yeah, Nagarjuna is the one.
Okay.
And in
Okay.
Western there is David Hume, I would say. But
David,
David Hume.
you. Okay.
But they are all teachers in a way. Means
Hmm.
that those things have got nothing to do with the message. The
Okay.
message is just means different from those things.
Okay. But they are maybe a little bit
Yeah,
similar. Okay.
similarities. There are a lot of similarities which you would see.
Hmm.
Like for example, in Advaita Vedanta, we are also taught Advaita Vedanta. Yeah,
In philosophy?
yeah,
Oh. Oh.
yeah. So Advaita Vedanta also says something like this, but it says of a consciousness or an awareness which is
Hmm.
standing behind the appearance. So in that
Oh.
way, it is not Advaita Vedanta, means not
In subject it
non-duality.
says that? In
Yeah,
Advaita Vedanta subject it says that about awareness?
yeah, in consciousness. Yeah,
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
yeah. Means it means in in philosophy, in Indian philosophy, it's just spirituality. If you would say, it's
Hmm.
just spirituality. The whole
Hmm.
Indian
Hmm.
perspective.
Hmm.
You know.
Means the world is not seen as the absolute. World is still seen as a world, and absolute is seen
Yeah,
as
there is
absolute.
separation.
There is separation.
In Indian philosophy also there is, and everywhere there is a slight feeling of separation, that one substance is here, one substance is there.
Hmm.
And even in Advaita, which is the word itself says,
Hmm.
not two.
Yeah.
In that also there is a difference between unreal, real. There is some consciousness which is
Oh.
behind.
Okay.
There
So
is something which is seeing the appearance.
what I have experienced is, I mean, that could be just my interpretation, but some of the people use the word consciousness, they use the word awareness, but it's just my feeling from their entire writing or their entire speaking that they're just using a word consciousness, they're just using a word awareness, but it seems that they are pointing to
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah.
wholeness or
but
nothingness.
but they give a path also, path and a practice to practice.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what is means dissimilar
But
to the
okay.
message.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's all just words. You can say this is consciousness, this is awareness. What matters?
Yeah, you can say any,
Yeah,
you can use any
you can
word,
say any
but
word.
until and unless there is a duality, that is something else. As this laptop is
Yeah,
something else.
yeah.
If something, if someone directly says that this is the laptop
If
that I'm
there is a
talking about,
solid knowing that there is a separate consciousness, then
separate
that's what is.
consciousness,
Yeah,
something which is not this,
yeah,
which is not this. If this is what you're talking
yeah,
about, then we are
yeah. They
talking about the
talk. They
same.
talk of neti neti. I am not this. I
Yeah,
am not this.
yeah,
There
yeah.
is still an I am, which is not this and not this.
Mm, mm,
And that I am is the central knower, which
mm,
creates the entire apparent havoc in the appearance.
mm. As long as appearance is different from something else, it's a different message then. Like if there is a consciousness and appearance, if there is an awareness
Yeah,
aware
yeah.
of appearance,
In most of the communications, you would find that type of way of speaking.
mm,
That this and this.
mm,
In this message, only this,
yeah,
only what's happening,
yeah, yeah,
only
because yes,
and only. That's the difference. That's the major difference.
um, yeah, because when someone starts on this kind of exploration, it's mostly that take your concentration or take your attention away from objects of experience. Yeah, uh, as we were talking earlier, go inside, as if there is an inside.
Yeah,
Yeah, because this is
concentrate,
out, because
concentrate.
this is outside,
Yeah,
this is outside and everything else is outside. So take your attention back inside. Those are meaningless things. This world is meaningless, and this is a world full of objects and desires, and this will not get you anywhere. So you should go inside, and you will find the true peace inside. And that is where I think most people start from. And that is where the whole spirituality, I think, starts from. But it doesn't end
yeah,
in, it doesn't directly point that inside that we are talking about has to end to to dissolve the separation, that there
yeah.
is no inside and there is no outside.
It starts with separation and it ends with separation. The
Yeah, yeah,
teachings.
yeah. Because if you started with separation of inside and outside and not pointed out that that inside doesn't exist separate from outside, there is a path, and everyone might not reach the end where you will have to disclose that there is no inside and there is no outside. And a lot of people are stuck in between, like,
Can I say something?
yeah, yeah,
No separation is so non-separate that it's free to arise as separation.
yeah, yeah. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just this. Wow. Wow, wowing.
Oh,
Amazing, amazing. Wonderful, wonderfuling. Beautiful, beautifuling. What is ising. This ising. Only, ever this. But what is this? It's just a word. It's just a word.
it's just
This is not this. This is this has got all comedy, silence, noise, everything.
mm, yeah. Otherwise it's just trying to get to the silence away from the noise, but it's not seen that noise is the silence as
Mm,
noise, or
yeah,
both are the same thing.
both are the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing to come across this message. To come across this message. It seems like if this message was not there, that yeah, nothing can be said. Nothing can be said. The last message had to be heard. The
Yeah,
last message had to be heard.
it's a gift for no one.
It's a gift for everyone.
Giftless gift for no one.
And that is why I said, there is sometimes great gratitude that arises for wholeness appearing as these bodies that are transmitting this message.
Wholeness appearing as the smile.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'll not delay you much. You have to sleep and you have to get back to your
No,
routine
you
tomorrow
can
morning.
continue. You can continue.
Yeah,
You can continue till you want. Yeah, it's 12 o'clock in the night here. But
yeah,
yes, you
yeah,
can continue for another half an hour if you want.
mhm.
Because this talking about this never exhausts you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Let me check my calendar as well. Okay, okay. I got a meeting. Important. Yeah, but it's not that important. Yeah, that's okay. Hmm.
No, that isn't more important than this one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But like for the next one, definitely, I think I'll have to attend. But this one is okay. This um, energetic experience within the body. Everybody has different experiences, but this moving energy within the body. I
Yeah.
don't know if you have had that experience or not. If the contraction, or let's
Yeah,
say the
Kundalini or that type of
yes,
stuff. I think you are talking about.
how I
Yeah.
think so. That is my guess, but I don't know. But this experience of you can say I am, or this is where I am. The position of view, the point, like the eyes have no position. Obviously the body doesn't know anything that I am looking from here, or I
Yeah.
am here, right? Body doesn't know I am here, I am looking at the bottle. It's just looking. But when there is an experience of I am here, and that experience of I am here moves within the
Yeah.
body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Did you
I think you may be saying that the feeling of a looker, the feeling
hmm.
of that I am maybe somewhere here, and
Yeah,
and another time it may be somewhere here.
yeah, 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 yeah,
But mostly it's in the entire body and it's in the entire appearance as well,
yeah,
simultaneously. Yeah.
yeah. So, from my experience, my body's experience, it's disorienting. Like it creates
Confusing.
this
Yeah.
confusing and orientation problems. And the most surprising factor is that sense or that energy contains everything of that I am, like the
Exactly.
belief,
Exactly. Yeah.
the fears, the entire imaginary mind of that I am is within that energy. So if let's say if it is here and the mental focus goes there, then that generates all those stories, all the fears, all uh, the beliefs, and stuckness, and everything is place. So all that mind that presents itself as wherever it appears to be the focal point, And if the attention goes there, then it plays out like that. That if there is a real I am, and if all
It
that
comes
story
it
is real,
comes with the entire package.
entire package. Yeah. In any you did you have any this moving experience?
Yeah, again, I would like to say that cannot refer back. Means the reference cannot happen now.
It's not
Yeah,
happening now, but
yeah, it's not happening.
no,
No energy stuff, no energy
no.
risings, no kundalini, or any. It's just like the biology is just functioning.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. That because
yeah,
it seems that I am having that kind of, you know, some disorientation or
yeah,
the moving of I am energy.
yeah. It may be shifting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sometimes it's like here in the front of that. Sometimes I
yeah.
feel like all the I am comes from these 2 points. Sometimes I feel like
Exactly. Yeah,
these 2 points feel stressed, and as if, some kind of energy
yeah,
drips out, drips out, like
yeah.
uh, uh,
but
water
but
flowing
it's
from the
not exactly about the contraction. It's about that someone which owns that the contraction is happening to me.
Yes, yes. Sometimes what can happen is body, the mental focus has not gone into the I am, so it can see that it is simply an energy. It is
Yeah,
not I am, or it is has no
yeah,
meaning at
it's just
all.
like
It is
this.
just a stress within the body. It is
Yeah,
just This is just a stress. It has
just
no
what's
meaning at all.
happening. Yeah,
Just what's happening. But if the focus goes there, if that takes the ownership, then it becomes,
yeah,
you know,
but that is
uh,
also what's happening.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
The function of the knower is all about focus.
Mhm.
Yeah, focusing on a point, focusing on a position. Without the focus, the I am cannot survive. It's all about focusing on up the appearance. It's focusing on the appearance because it's thinking that if it doesn't focus on the appearance, then the appearance will slip past it, will get away from its grasp. And the most beautiful thing is that the appearance is already without any grasp. Where to focus in the already infinite mystery?
Thank you, Rajiv. Thanks a lot. I mean, again,
Yeah,
great to have this chat, and hopefully we can talk again, or hopefully we'll be posting some of your video again, and I'll I'll definitely
yes.
enjoy.
We had a good one. I
Yeah,
think this this should go to my channel if you have got the permission.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it,
Uh,
we had a good one.
yes, yes. I definitely
Yeah,
enjoyed it, and
it was
uh,
open, it was fresh, it was free.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Because mostly I don't do Zoom talk. So whenever I get a chance to do this kind of thing,
mhm.
then I mostly think that I can post it if the other person gives the permission to post it. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't think there is an issue in posting it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you edit videos?
No, I put it raw.
Mm.
Actually, I I edited one of my videos you would have seen, and the sound just broke away from the
Ah,
half
okay.
of the video.
Okay.
And from then on, I thought that let me
Mhm.
not edit any of my videos.
Mhm.
Let me just put it there because it's mostly the edited part which contains something fresh, which you would have thought that oh this is not something which you can
Mhm.
put.
Mhm. Yeah.
So have you recorded uh, yourself some Zoom meetings?
No.
Oh, because for the first time I'm recording Zoom meeting,
Okay.
and
Okay.
I'm not sure how to put it in my means gallery. Means if I end it, then it will go into the gallery, or if I just yeah, I will figure it
Oh,
out. I will figure it
okay.
out. My brother
Yeah.
is there, but yeah,
Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah.
I have mostly done it on Instagram. But I thought that if laptop is there and computer is there, then let's do on Zoom because on Instagram many people can come and watch. So I thought that let it be a surprise for everyone.
Yeah. Once you have that video, if you can share it,
Yeah,
yeah, before posting.
yeah,
Before
yeah.
posting, share it.
But I can also do one thing that I would just post the audio.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, but for that I would have to do something more. But it's just what's happening. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, Rajiv, I'll let you go. And thank you so much once again. And I will definitely like to chat again. Okay. Whenever,
yeah,
let's see if it happens or not.
yeah.
And yeah,
I
all
like
right.
this. Means chatting just means there is somewhat a different energy than just
Yeah.
saying on camera. That is also good, but this
Yeah.
has got a different flavor, as you said.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean,
yeah.
I might have a question which before, you know,
It's just
yeah, absolutely.
because it has just the message is just like going around, and just done
Yeah.
happens. So yeah, I think if possible, I will try to put the audio only audio, but if that is not possible, then I would ask for your permission to just put this
Yeah.
raw video on the
Yeah,
YouTube.
yeah, sure, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, just share the video. I just need to check one thing, to be honest.
What?
And uh, I'll share it with you.
Okay.
Yeah. And if that is not the case, yeah, please go ahead, post the video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the part you want to be edited is also wholeness. Remember.
Yeah. Yeah, and my wanting to edit that part is also
And my not wanting to edit that part is also freedom.
awesome.
Because we had a great one. So I
Yeah,
don't want to miss it.
yeah,
In
yeah.
spite of the fact that nothing does miss. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to convert the entire video and I'm not a techno savvy like you.
Mhm. All right, Rajiv. Good night.
Okay, good night.
Yeah,
Enjoyed very much.
yeah, yeah, you too. Okay, talk to you later.
Bye.